Today's episode's brought to you by Honey. Honey is here to help you save some money. It's that simple. It rhymes. It's that simple. Also, today we're brought to you by MeUndies. MeUndies. You're walking around in your underwear right now anyway. You might as well make them MeUndies. Let's jump into this podcast. Woo. Hello, everybody. It's time for Ghost and Crendor.
This is Crendor in the morning.
In the morning. Broadcasting live. Before our recording studio audience. Recording. Wake your ass up. It's up Crendor in the morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an exciting episode of Ghost and Crendor in the morning.
Hey, welcome to the Crendor Can Sit in a Chair Again podcast.
Yo, your dick's not broken? That's cool.
Yeah, so, okay. Let me tell you.
In my mind, I imagine you're like all posted up like in a dick cast. You know, and you're just kind of like, well, one of these days.
No. So,
Go on.
let me tell you about the pelvic floor.
All
right.
What?
The perennial muscles.
I hate that you called it the pelvic floor.
That's what it is, the pelvic floor.
I don't like that one bit. That sounds sus to me, my friend. The pelvic floor.
The pelvic floor. Okay.
Going
right
down
now.
pelvic floor.
The pelvic
Lingerie
floor.
and men's apparel.
What are the pelvic floor muscles? The floor of the pelvis, not Elvis, is made up of layers of muscle and other tissues. These layers stretch like a hammock from the tailbone at the back to the pubic bone at the front.
You mean the taint? You talking about the taint? It ain't the taint. It's
Now,
the taint.
the taint is part of the pelvic floor, yes.
Of course it is.
But
yes.
it goes all throughout, like up to your butt, up to the old, genitalia regions, to your hip bones, like it's all over. And so, I was like, okay, so I looked up pelvic floor exercises, yoga, like physical therapy stuff, and I started doing a lot of it, and it worked.
Now you're back? Yeah, you just had to stretch those muscles out.
I had to stretch out my pelvic floor.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they were powerful pelvic floor muscles. Too powerful for their own good.
We never need to say the word pelvic floor again.
Perennials. Powerful perennials.
It sounds like you're talking about plants now, and I'm fine with that. I'd rather hear plants when you say perennials than pelvic floor.
And like, it's like one, you like push on like some of the like areas, and then one area I pushed on, I felt it like go all the way down my leg. I was like, wowee, and then it like loosens up, kind of like your back if you push like a spot in your back and like radiates down your arm or something, you know?
I mean, I kind of get you. I've been doing like some morning stretches, and it's weird that when I wake up and I do my stretches, I feel like, I'm going to say, an inch taller. Is that weird? Like, I'll do my stretches, and then at the very end, I'll lay down the bed and just, like, full body stretch. And it feels like my body is getting wider, like, bigger. Like, my arms are extending further. I feel like my bones are like, we were all crunched down, and now we're free. It's great. It's a great start to the day. You're like, oh, I can do anything right now.
I mean, that's probably why, if you like look at like animals, like cats and dogs, whenever they wake up, they stretch.
Yeah, you just got to get like a good, you don't have to do too much. You just got to like stretch the bod when you wake up, because you've been crumpled up in like a position for X number of hours. So a full body stretch does you good. It gets everything flowing. You're like, ooh, I get why Rita Repulsa did that thing where she was like,
You're like,
ooh, I have returned. Yeah, I get it now. It all checks out.
yeah. No, it makes sense. So, man, it's been like just figuring out. So now I've got like a minor in pelvic floor, and I've got like a major in gastroenterology. I think I'm heading towards a medical career.
Here's the thing: if 10 years from now you're a doctor, it would not surprise me. We'll call you Doctor. It's Doctor. Doctor. Yeah.
Hey, doc, I think I got this pain in my arm. Like, might be your pelvic floor, might be your stomach.
In your arm?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything that I know is just going to go back like, yeah, it might be your pelvic floor or the stomach, possibly the IBS hitting in, so we'll run some tests. That'll be.
Never mind. I take it back. I don't want to go to a doctor that's like, well, doc, there's something wrong with my eye. It's like twitching. Well, okay, let me explore your pelvic floor. I don't think. Nope. Trust me, it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, so it's honestly, I didn't know this much about the pelvic floor, and so learning about these perennial. All right, Dr. John keeps being like, I called them perennials, and he said it's perennial. I'm like, listen, you're talking to the guy who doesn't know how to pronounce anything. I brigged myself live in front of thousands of people. You think I'm gonna know how to say perennials?
I like how no matter what you do, the one thing you have in your back pocket is like, look, I threw myself in the brig to stop myself live in front of several thousand people.
I didn't even know what I was doing.
I'm very well aware.
So yeah, it's it can honestly, if you got like a tight pelvic floor, you could have trouble like with your bladder, because it like can push up on the bladder. You could have trouble going to the bathroom. You could have trouble, sitting down like I was, because it's all tight and you like push down, it like presses up, presses all that thing. You gotta do that. It sucks.
Man, it sounds like it sucks. That doesn't sound good. That sounds awful.
It does. And every time I feel like I spin the wheel of like what's next on the health. Then sometimes you get to go back. It's like, perennials are feeling good now, and you're like, oh, there's the heartburn again. Good old heartburn. I missed you. Right? You get to like revisit some old problems. Or like, oh, IBS flared up again. Finally, something I'm used to.
Well, you just have to like learn things that work best for you, right? Like pizza. I have learned to appreciate cheese pizza much more now, because for some reason, whenever I have pepperoni pizza, I'm like, oh, my body. And I think it's because of all the grease. And so,
oh no, it'll do it.
Yeah, I did a test, and I like did the whole paper towel pat down the top of the pizza thing. I was fine, totally fine. It was just because pizza be greasy, and I'm not, 19 anymore, and I'm like, give me a whole pie. Like, I can't.
No, I'm telling you, dude, the towel on the pizza to get that grease off, it's a good strat.
It works, and it doesn't, it makes the pizza look a little more microwaved. Like, when you look at the pizza after you're done with it, you're like, oh, it kind of like ruins the glisten and the top of it that makes it look like, that's a good-ass pizza. But with that said, still tastes the same.
Yeah, no, it still tastes the same. You still got that grease layer on top. Listen, some people want the grease layer. Some people can handle the grease layer. That's great. I can't.
Yeah, it's I'm just saying, it's probably healthier for you too. It's probably better for your body.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah.
Maybe. But I've learned to appreciate a good cheese because I don't have that issue. I don't have to pat down the top of it. I'm like, just a plain cheese pizza. The cheese, the dough, the tomato. That's all I need.
Yeah, sometimes if you get like pepperoni, that's gonna ooze that grease right off on top, mixed together, and you got like a grease fiesta.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that on your mozz. You don't want that.
Well, I feel like if you get like a mozzarella, if you get like a what's it called with the mozzarella and like the basil leaf and the margarita.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the one. I got it. Like if you get a margarita pizza, I feel like that's like a pretty good pizza because you don't get overloaded with a lot of stuff. It's like a lighter pizza.
What are those called? They're not, I would be a fool to call them Italian pizzas. That's not correct. But whatever that style of pizza is, the more rustic pizzas, we'll say. I think those pizzas, no matter what, quality-wise, are always better than like a normal pizza or like a hand-tossed or a deep dish or New York or a Chicago style, whatever. Midwest style where there's all these different styles of pizza, but I think like the ones where it's very simplistic, those are always better for you every time. But with that said, a big slice of New York pizza folded up is like, yes, oh, gabagool, that's the good stuff. Yeah, that's where it's at. You get that big slice and you fold that shit and you're like, oh, man, that's where it's at sometimes.
Hell yeah, that's where it's at.
I get it. I understand.
That's how my perennials are doing.
That's good to know. Thank you. Yeah. I have a question for you. Speaking of physical activity, I got this note today. Jesse, question for you. In your podcast, Cox and Crendor, what was the name of the workout series that Crendor was watching? It had some old Russian guy or something that I need to learn how to learn the ways.
Yes. It's, I think he's Israeli.
Okay.
His name is Gilad. Gilad.
I love the name Gilad. That's a great name.
Yeah, his name
It's
is
so
Gilad.
unexpected.
Gilad Janklowitz.
Yeah, no,
Gilad
yeah, okay. Janklowitz.
It's Gilad space Janklowicz. Gilad
That's a hell of a last name.
Janklowitz. He is an Israeli-born fitness personality, best known for the longest-running fitness show in the United States, Bodies in Motion, and for his show Total Body Sculpt with Gilad. Raised in Israel, Janklowitz has been an athlete devoted to fitness since his high school days. He is 65 years old now.
Total body sculpt with Gilad. Oh,
Yes.
my God. Oh, wow, look at this guy. I've seen this dude before.
Yeah. Wait, you have?
I have
You've seen
this.
Gilad?
I'm sure I've seen Gilad. I haven't given Gilad any, thought ever. But I've definitely seen Gilad before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
No, he's great. It's, the thing is, I feel like when I listen to him, right, it's sometimes, I've watched the DVD thing, so many times, it's hit the point where I know what he's going to say, and I know, all the little intricate, quips that he says, right? He's like, we're going to stretch the bicep muscle. He puts the emphasis on, bicep. But I like that, you know?
I know you do. If you go, I found Gilad TV. He's definitely aged, but he still looks roughly the same way he did 30 years ago.
Yeah. No,
even in
honestly,
dress, even the way he dresses looks roughly the same.
Yeah. No, he really does. If I could pull that off, I'd be fine with that.
I like that at a certain point, workouts from the 900 series are just him and women in bikinis, and I'm inspired to work out now. Literally it's just him on an island dancing with women in bikinis in the background, and I'm like, all right, I'm in, Gilad. What do you need me to do? Never mind. Workouts from the 400 series is where it's at.
400.
Episode 1, episode 401, Bodies in Motion. It features a chimpanzee. I don't know why. I don't care why. I love it. Oh my God. Episode 402, a child is doing it with him. Oh my God. The child is there the entire season? Oh my God. Is the chimpanzee there the entire season? Season 4 is the 400 series is where this shit's at. 23 of the best episodes ever.
We'll be bringing on a child and a chimpanzee to show you that anyone can do this.
I love this. You know what? It was a different time. The 80s were a different time.
It was a different time. It's,
Child and the chimpanzee. 1988 this was out. Holy crap.
The one I specifically did was express workouts with Gilad.
Shout out to Gilad for, keeping it going, keeping it tight for all these years.
Yeah.
It's definitely always weird to see a very ripped, physically fit 60-some-year-old person, especially considering most of the people who are physically fit and 60 start to turn out like Schwarzenegger, where time is I'm still coming for you. Doesn't matter how hard you try, I'm still gonna get you. And they're just are ripped, but they're still falling apart.
Oh yeah, no.
Gilad got it put together, man. Look at him. That's great.
Yeah, no, Gilad's great. So yeah, if you were wondering about Gilad, express workout. I even think it's on YouTube. If you check, there's some of the workouts on YouTube.
Well, there you go. Buy Gilad. It's not an advertisement, but Crendor says it'll help with your pelvic floor.
That might not, but it'll help something.
Yeah. Oh my God. I went to the grocery store this week, and I discovered something called × caffeine coffee.
×2 caffeine. Oh, I think I've seen that actually.
It is. They have Starbucks versions of it. They have there's so many different versions of it now. And I was like, you know what? I've been having like messed up problems with sleep lately. Some days I'll sleep too long, and other days I'll barely sleep. And so I was like, maybe I just need to stay up a normal sleep schedule, wake up, do this thing. So I've been like getting up early, drinking my extra strength caffeine coffee, and like going through the day. I feel like I'm an addict. I feel like this is a problem, but I simply don't care. It works. It's keeping me going.
Who would have thought the answer was drugs?
Yeah. The answer was drugs. Yeah, no, it's doing it for me. I feel like it can't be healthy for you if it's like double the cap. Although, isn't that what an energy drink is anyway?
I mean, yeah.
I'd rather have it from a cup of coffee than like a 600 calorie energy drink. So, I feel like that's healthier.
If it's times 2 caffeine, can you just have like 2 cups of coffee?
I don't know that's how it works.
Well, what do you mean?
Well,
you just have 1 cup of coffee, then you have another one. That's 2 times the caffeine.
I don't know. I feel like there's a math problem here that we are not solving, right? Like, one of those equations where it's like, just because you do 100% twice doesn't mean you're getting 200% caffeine. Does that make any sense?
I get. Well, yeah, because you're not doing it all at once.
Honestly, I don't know. You could be totally right. But I also don't want to drink 2 cups of coffee. Like, 1 cup of coffee is enough for me.
I'd rather have 2 cups of coffee.
Well, that's because you live that dangerous life. I'd rather have, like, a nice warm cup of coffee than some iced tea and, like, go about my day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels more dangerous doing, like, twice the caffeine in 1 serving and then going about your day.
I mean, look, I don't know. I have to assume that the Starbucks brand corporation wouldn't have sold it if it wasn't going to kill me. Or wait, if it was going to kill me. I just, I could be wrong though, because people sell stuff all the time that kills people. So I'm just like, I saw it, I figured I'd try it, and it like tastes the same, and it is keeping me going, so I'm not going to complain right now. Although if in 5 years I have like caffeine addiction and I'm squirrely and jittery, you'll know why. This will be the episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
this will be the one where I go crazy.
On the bright side of things, at least it's like, it's getting you normal.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, man, this week was so long. To think it started with us playing Saints Row.
Oh my God,
I forgot that was this week.
I did too.
I was like, man, when did Crendor and I play Saints Row? And I was like, oh my God, that was last Sunday.
Yeah, wow. By the way, last week we played Saints Row, everybody.
Yes, we did. One day I'll make a clip show of it because it was hilarious. But,
it was pretty great.
Yeah, we went back and we played for a little bit, and it's just as good a game as it always was. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun to like relive the thing that started it all. Started this show.
We found out that Cox and Crendor was like the thing.
Yeah,
that I like we created during that game. Yeah,
I like how we found this out, even though we were the ones. We found out that we remembered that we did a thing.
Yes, live on the stream, we were like, "Wait, what? This is what started it?" Yeah, now we know.
Yeah, because I guess right before we were gonna do the actual episode of Saints Row for the first time, I think we were like, yo, it's like Cox and Crendor, and then we were like, it's kind of like a morning show, and I think then you just titled the episode Cox and Crendor in the morning.
That sounds about right.
And then it just kind of became a thing, and we were like, we should just do a show.
That's God.
That was
9 years ago. That was 9 years ago.
8, yeah, I think it's like 8.5, 9 years. Man,
I can't even, my whole body.
Hey, I feel that.
It's wild to think that some of the things that I remember, I get parents now. I get why parents are like, you'll always be my baby. Like, I get it. Because some of the things I remember from 2014 seem like they were yesterday.
Oh,
and then I'm like, that was 6 years ago? Oh, man, it's wild. Time is time is a curse. I totally understand villains now. Supervillains, I get you. The bad guy in Star Trek Generations, I get now. I'm like, I will defeat time. Oh, it's madness. Especially looking back a week, right? Like just looking back 1 week and be like, what a long ass week. And to think that I remember March being forever, April flew by. And I was doing like research on, because every once in a while I'll just, rather than work, go on the internet and be like, let's learn a thing. Yeah. Apparently there's a part of your brain. There's actually a documentary on Netflix. If you want to get real crazy, everyone, there's a documentary on Netflix called Have a Good Trip.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a Netflix documentary about LSD and peyote and like, drugs and their effect on people. And it is filled with celebrities. It is crazy. Carrie Fisher has this huge bit in it that's like amazing. Sting talks about doing drugs and giving birth to a calf. Like, it is the craziest thing you'll ever watch. But in it, they talk about, time. There's a part of your brain that registers time, which is why when you're on certain drugs, it feels like time is all out of whack. And so I was like, I got to deep dive. So I went on the internet to research this bit, and there's like a part of your brain, just like there are parts of your brain to regulate all sorts of things we don't really think about. There's a part of your brain that registers time. And it's why, even though time is not an existent thing, time is just entropy, right? Like everything over time grows, then fades away. We perceive time as a tangible thing because it like helps us sort our day. And so there's certain things that can alter your brain that will change, perceptions of reality and all this different stuff. But one of those perceptions is time. And I just went on a rabbit hole. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. Once you go down that rabbit hole of like what is real and what isn't and how it's all perceived in your brain, and you're just like, am I even real? Oh yeah. It's wild.
Oh yeah, no, I have that happen a lot.
I see, but for you, I think that just happens on like you wake up and you're like, what is even real?
Oh yeah, no, that happens all the time. Like I went on like a forest walk. I was just walking, and then there was like a bug flew into me, and I was like, ah shit. And then for some reason, right after that happened, I was like, I was just born one day, and now here I am walking in the woods, and I got hit by another bug that just randomly it was a bug, came out of nowhere just like me, but it got to be a bug. I got to be a human, and not just whacked me in the face. And that bug's gonna be dead soon, and I'm gonna be dead one day, and we're all gonna be dead. And then I was like, anyway, I'm gonna keep walking.
Look, this made me want to go to the woods and do shrooms. I've never in my life been like, yeah, I feel like shrooms is a good option, but now I'm like, maybe I should. They were like Sting, and I'm trying to think who else it was. Someone else was talking about it, but like they went into the woods because they were told. I remember now. Sting's story isn't even going into the woods. Sting went to Mexico to like a weird cult thing up in a mountain, and like it did drugs and like had blood poured over him and shit. And like, but no matter what was going on, all of them were like, while they were in this moment, they like saw truth and were just like, dude, we're all stars. We're all just dust, man. The earth,
hey,
the
now
planet.
you're an all-star.
Right, exactly.
Get your game on. Go play.
Yes. It's like they were like, don't you get it, man? We're all stars. And it's wild because like when Sting's talking about it, it's hilarious. He's like, I gave birth to he helped like give birth to a calf. Like he was on a farm, and some guy ran up to him while he was high and was like, dude, you gotta come help me. And Sting got there and was trying to like help this cow give birth. And he said he was like seeing rainbows and shit. And I was like, I gotta be honest with you. Sometimes I think I need to have one of those moments.
Maybe you do.
I'm just, I feel like maybe I won't need double caffeine coffee to keep going. Instead, I'll just be like, don't you get it, man? I am the trees. And I'd be fine with that.
Shrooms in the woods.
If I became that guy who was just, people are like, how you doing? I'd be like, I'm doing as good as planet Mother Earth lets me. If I became that guy, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. As long as I like had some chill vibes, that'd be great.
No, it's I agree. I think sometimes you just need that like out of body like perspective. Some people like me, it just comes naturally, but other people, I feel like you need something to get you there. You know, like my dreams are already like that anyway.
Oh my God, I had some wacky dreams this week. Let me tell you.
Wow,
A lot of my dreams were related to, like, I had one dream where I was doing a podcast, and I don't remember who. I think it was Felicia Day and someone else were on the podcast, but it was about how they discovered a fish in the Antarctic that lives only 9 days or something like that. And the fish they found out wasn't from Earth, and it was the first sign of extraterrestrial life. And then I realized after we were done recording that I had forgotten to press record. And so it was like it was a panic attack. I had like a panic attack and woke up and was freaking out.
Huh.
Yep. Which is obviously had nothing to do with anything in that dream except for the fact that like I constantly worry about my job and how one dumb mistake can screw it up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had dreams where like I'm still in school and I'm like, why was I dreaming about being in school?
Yeah, it's just
Those are always weird.
Just stress dreams suck. They're never fun. And it's
Yeah.
always about stuff that feels real and not like,
Yeah.
and then I was scuba diving with flamingos. And the flamingos were made of gumdrops. It's never that shit. It's always like, yeah, I was late for school and I got there and school had ended forever.
No, it's always crazy because some people are like, it's just, you know, I just dreamt like me and him were together and we were just at the beach. I'm like, I don't know what kind of dreams you're having, but my dreams are like fucking, like it's raining bananas. There's like a fox pulls up in a car. It's like, the fuck it. You like gotta go on an adventure. And then all of a sudden, like everybody's gone and I'm like on Mars. And then I'm just like gathering rocks on Mars. And then someone's like, take a photo of me and my family. And you're like, oh, all right. You take a photo. And then you're like, wait, how the shit did I get here? And then you wake up and you're just like, what? Those are my dreams.
I would love to have a sexy dream. Sexy dreams, wherever you're at, whatever it takes, hook me up. I would love to have a dream where it's like, and then we were alone on the beach. I don't have any of that shit. I don't have any of that. The last remotely sexy dream that I remember was years ago. I remember this because it was terrifying. I was at a mall alone. I think I might have said this on this podcast even. I was at a mall and I was looking for a friend and she was like in the mall and her face was always away from me. And every time I would grab her and turn her around, it would just be the back of her head. And so I like chased after her in the mall and I ended up in a room where I was held down on a stretcher and the person there was like a naked Britney Spears but with the head of an alien.
Oh, I think I do remember this.
Yeah, I said it on this podcast a while ago. That's the last remotely sexy. Other than that, it's like weird stress dreams or like very chill, happy, like, yeah, and then this thing happened and that was fun.
I did dude, I remember one dream I had. It was crazy. I remember there's this girl and she kept trying to like flirt with me. And she was like crawling towards me, and I was like, "No, I'm like I'm with someone." And she was like, "No," and I'm like, "No, I have a girlfriend already." And she kept crawling, and I put my hand out, and it like pushed her head, and her neck broke, and she fell over and died.
Oh my God!
And I was like, "What the shit?" And then I was like, the helicopters started flying over, and I was like, "I gotta get out of here." And then I pulled up a map like I was in Call of Duty, and I had to like flee to Canada. And I was like, "All right, I gotta get to Canada, but I gotta go through the woods." And then I was like, wait, what am I doing? And then I woke up and I was like, what the shit?
The dream collapsed around you. I've seen that movie. I get how it works.
Yeah, it's Inception. The dream collapsed. As soon as I was like, no, I can't do this, dream was like, bleh. I think like that girl was the embodiment of the dream.
I love that sometimes like if you're in a relationship, someone will have a dream and be like, are you cheating on me? I dreamed you were. In this case, you would literally kill someone for toast.
Apparently, I was just like, I can't cheat. I'm in a relationship. The thing was, I wasn't like, like I just literally put my hand out, and her head like went into it, and it just like broke her neck somehow. And I was like, what the shit? That was weird. Listen, if you, I gave people a glimpse into my Dikea thing on my Patreon because I'm like, I'm not putting this up on my main channel. Just like it's too crazy. So I put up on my Patreon. It's literally just my scribbles from the Dikea we did. And I like letting people into like my brain for a bit.
Oh my God,
it's
was
like,
that Monday?
Here's the meatball man. Yeah, that was Monday.
Oh my God, this week has been forever. I was like, yeah, Dikea. When did we? Oh my God, that was Monday.
Yeah, that was Monday, and so it's
Oh,
yeah, that was the third Dikea. I feel like that was like the end of the trilogy.
I'm upset you didn't call it Dithria, but whatever. To each their own.
Dithria sounds like diarrhea.
So does Dikea.
Yeah, but less so.
Touche.
Yeah. So it was, I think I did, like, if you're like, I don't want to give Crendor Patreon money, that's fine. I wouldn't either. But if you go to my YouTube, then there I have my Dikea 2 notes up on my YouTube if you really want to look into, like, my past brain Dikea activity for, like, a glimpse into, my scribbles.
I don't want to spoil Dikea. I'm not gonna spoil any of it.
Oh, yeah.
Go watch it.
I just think this time around, Sam was like, he was great. He kind of got screwed over, but in the end, everything came out just the way it should have.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, I was there. It happened.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I don't even know if it's up yet on JP's thing, but it'll be up there.
I don't know. I have no clue how that man's working. But speaking of working, we got bills to pay. Hey there, everybody. That's right. That was the segue. Summertime's coming. You probably want to go out. Tough. You can't. That's the world we live in now. But why not wear your short shorts at home and have them be me undies? Yep, that's the road we traveled down. Me undies will keep you comfortable in these uncomfortable times. You can also get a membership with MeUndies, and then just things are delivered to you. You don't have to worry about it. Every month, the softest, coziest undies magically will appear at your door. As your collection grows, your laundry time lessens, adulting gets infinitely easier. Plus, your membership has site-wide savings and early access and free shipping. I know you're like, a membership. You don't have to. It's fine. But I'm just putting it out there, kids. MeUndies are made from micromodal. Again, it's been how many years? Still have no idea what that means.
Micromodals.
And, micromodal. An irresistibly soft, sustainable fabric that encases your nether regions in a cloud of comfort. It's magically made from trees. Again, I don't know what that means, but I will say it gives you a great reason to hug a tree. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. MeUndies are offered in a range from extra small to 4XL. Right now, you can get 15% off and free shipping. All you got to do is give them a try, and they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You get 15% off, 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping. You'd be a fool not to at least try them. MeUndies.com/Crendor is the place you want to go. Trust us on this. You will love them. Once more, MeUndies.com/Crendor.
That's me.
Also, while you're stuck at home, we know you're doing a lot of online shopping. I am doing a ludicrous amount. But did you know you can make it even better? Because you can save some money with Honey. Honey is the free online shopping tool that lets you save money online. It will automatically find the best promo codes and just apply them to your cart. It's that simple. Straight up, if you're on Google Chrome right now, just boop, go there, get Honey, and then boop, you're good to go. It's like in there, it's running, it's doing its thing every time you go to a store online. Target, Sephora, Macy's, Etsy, Lululemon, DoorDash, Walmart, all sorts of different things. It will apply codes for you. When you go to checkout, a little box is going to drop down. It's going to be like, do you want to apply these codes? And you're like, yup. And then it will scan the internet for all sorts of codes, and then the price will drop. It is ridiculous. I recently used it when I went to Walmart because I couldn't. I was on the search for paper towels and toilet paper and all that stuff. Went to Walmart, saw they had the toilet paper I wanted, they had paper towels, and they had tissues. And I was like, perfect. I'll just order all of them from there online, have them shipped. Went at the end, went boop, 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 typed in, I think the total was going to be like $40 some, and it dropped down to like $22. And I was like, oh, Baby! It worked great. It was perfect. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of savings you can get. It'll search everywhere for them, and it was saved me some money. Honey has over 17 million members who have earned a total of like $2 billion in savings.
Wow.
Did you know Honey supports over 30,000 online stores, and they're adding more every day. Users love it so much. It has more than 100,000 5-star reviews on the Google Chrome store. I came into the Google Chrome store. There you go. Not only is using Honey literally like passing up free money, it's totally free. It installs within seconds. It's now part of the PayPal family, if that's like your jam. All you got to do is go to joinhoney.com/Cox. That's joinhoney.com/Cox. All right, Crendor, let's go to chapter number 7 of the Scout. Crendor, how's that traffic?
Everything is on fire. Back to you.
Thanks, Crendor. Now let's go over to the weather. The sweather? Yeah, the sweather desk.
Sweather. Here at the sweather desk, I've got a nice, well-knitted Christmas sweater. I will be throwing it in the garbage.
No!
'Cause I hate sweaters.
No! I knitted that for you. It said Santa's favorite hoe.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll be taking out of the garbage, just saving it in the buy. You ever return receipts? I'm not gonna return it.
Oh yeah, it's in the box. I figured, it might not
great.
be your size.
No, it is. It is.
Okay.
I'm gonna wear this in maybe a couple of years after you've forgotten that you got it for me.
Christmas to me will always be summed up by that one vine that's like, oh, an avocado.
That is
Kid
great.
is my favorite. As he like unwraps and goes, oh, an avocado.
I mean, listen. Sometimes an avocado would be great. Healthy. It's got healthy fats.
Thank
Good
you. And then he just puts it up to the side. Oh, shit's funny.
That is great. Oh yeah, the weather.
Yeah.
Let's go like Yakutsk, Saka Republic, Russia.
I was about to say, Yakutsk is one of the places you can get in Risk, I think.
Really? Huh.
I think so. I think it was at least on the old Risk maps.
Yakutsk is 62 degrees, feels like 60, high 64, low 42, UV index 5 of 10. As of, what time is it there? Right now it is 12:45 p.m. in Russia, in Yakutsk.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Look at that. It's going to be on the old 10-day forecast, 64 degrees today. Then you got some 70, 72, 63, 67, 68 with some AM showers. You got 75, 75, 70, 69, 68, 71, 74, 76, 77. So actually, it's pretty nice there. It's like a
summer in
perfect
Russia.
temperature. Yeah, wow. I wonder how cold it gets.
Very. I would imagine very cold.
Coldest Yakutsk temp. The lowest temperature recorded in Yakutsk was negative 64 degrees Celsius, which is negative 83.9 Fahrenheit.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh my God. Well,
yeah, I would not ever want to live there.
So,
yeah.
People also ask, why is Yakutsk so cold? Wait, Yakutsk its capital is one of the coldest big cities on Earth. So cold, it's entirely built on permafrost. Most of its buildings are on pylons or stilts made of wood or concrete, so they won't melt the permafrost.
Incredible. That is incredible.
What the shit? It came into being in 1632 when the Yenisei Cossacks built a stockade here on the Great Lena River. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, Yakutsk looks like a lot of different Midwestern towns. It's like not big.
Mm-hmm.
But like it definitely, people live there, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, I looked up the hit images, just a bunch of people like frozen.
Yeah, I'm looking at the images now too. It's just people with like their eyelashes frozen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That shit's crazy. And that's the weather.
All right, Crendor, let's go to sports.
Sports. Good news for sports. it says the NBA is going to be targeting for a July 31st return. So we could have sports as soon as in like a month and a half from now, 2 months.
How are they going to do that?
And then hockey.
I assume with no crowd, sure.
Yeah, with no crowd.
But are they going to...
In fact...
are they going to make the players travel? Like, how are they going to do that?
So the plan for the NBA is they're going to play all the games in Disney World.
What?
Yeah, so they're going to have all the teams stay in Disney World, play in Disney World, and they have like enough hotels. They got like stadiums they can play in, like, and they're going to do like a 16-team playoff like right away, or like 20 teams or something like that. So I think they're not going to have like every team. It's just going to be like the top, I think, like 12 teams or 10 teams from each conference, and then just play it all in Disney World.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. And then the NHL, I believe, is also kind of doing a similar thing. So they're going to do like a 24-team playoff, and they're going to play in 2 hub cities. They're just going to pick like, Vegas and LA, or like Chicago and Vegas, or some shit like that, and just play it all in 2 places.
Huh.
So that's the plan, which is
yeah, we'll
interesting. See. And then the I don't know about baseball. Baseball's still figuring shit out, but basketball and hockey looks like they're trying to get some stuff going, which is pretty neat. Also, in football, Jake Butt says he's back to 100%.
Oh, thank God. Our long national nightmare is over.
Yep. And sports.
Okay. Crendor, what is our big news story of the day? By the way, before we get there, I've been looking through Yakutsk more just because I'm fascinated by it. If you look it up, just be aware there's a National Geographic issue called Yakutsk, Siberia, How to Celebrate Summer in the World's Coldest City. It looks like Midsommar. It's crazy looking. It looks like they definitely are killing people there. Everyone's dressed up in white. Everyone they're like dancing around maypoles and stuff, and there's a big what looks like people standing up against like a sacrificial pole. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, it's wild.
Huh.
But also, like, shout out to Yakutsk because they have like some beautiful people there. Anyway, hi. Anyway, moving on.
Beautiful, beautiful people.
That's so beautiful.
Oh man, this one got tweeted to us.
Okay, here we go.
Men hired for sexual fantasy break into wrong house.
All right, first off, timeout.
Yep.
Men hired for sexual fantasy?
Yes.
All right, let me just before you read this story, let me just say this could be one of those stories that people on the internet think is hilarious, and then we read it and we're like, "Well, this is not funny at all." So be prepared.
Oh boy,
be prepared. This could turn out bad. This could.
All right. Okay.
This could be one of those.
Yeah, this might be one of the. Geez. All right. In a sex fantasy gone wrong, 2 men with machetes entered wrong house in New South Wales, Australia, before quickly realizing their error. Wait, what kind of fantasy takes machetes?
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. This seems like a pretty dark fantasy. This seems the kind of fantasy you keep between loved ones and not on a podcast. I'm a little worried we're going down a dark rabbit hole here.
One of them has now been acquitted of entering a home armed with a weapon in July of 2019. They had been hired to carry out a client's fantasy of being tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom.
Never mind. We're good.
All right.
You know what? Some fantasies are worth putting on a podcast.
The judge concluded the facts of this case are unusual. It's, what is... I'm not even going to ask it.
Wait a minute. He hired 2 dudes to do this, to break into his house, brandishing weapons, tie him up, and then stroke him with the broom? That was his plan?
I guess so. The role play was arranged over Facebook by a man near Griffith, New South Wales, who provided his address to the hired pair. Quote, he was willing to pay a Aussie $5,000 if it was really good, the judge said.
What is the really good part? Like the breaking and entering? He's like, that was realistic. I was definitely scared for my life. Or the broom stroking, in which case, like, how do you know what a good broom stroke is? Is there a definition? Is there like a hierarchy of broom strokage?
I have no idea, but I'm glad that I don't have these fantasies.
Maybe I'm the problem, Crendor, because the entire time you were reading the beginning of this story, I was really worried. I was like, I don't like where this is going. And then I was way off. I'm pleasantly surprised it was broom massage.
However, the client moved to another address 50 kilometers, 30 miles away without updating the two men. They entered a home on the street of the original address. When the resident noticed a light on in his kitchen at 6:15, he assumed it was a friend who came by daily to make morning coffee. When the men called out the name of their client, the resident turned on the light and removed a sleep apnea mask he was wearing. It was then when he saw them standing above his bed with machetes, which they appeared to have brought as props for the role play. When they realized their error, one of the pair said, quote, "Sorry, mate," and shook the resident's hand.
That's the most Australian thing I've ever heard.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate. They broke into his house. They're like, sorry, mate. And they just like left.
The two men then drove to the correct address where the client noticed one man had a great big knife in his trousers and asked him to leave the weapons in their car. The client then cooked bacon, eggs, and noodles, and a short time later the police arrived at the property, found the machetes in the car, and arrested the hired pair. The judge ruled the evidence did not suggest the men's actions were intentional. They, quote, carried machetes either as a prop or something to use in that fantasy, he said. The fantasy was unscripted and there was a discretion as to how it would be carried out. A lawyer for Terrence Leroy, one of the accused, said, "Is a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom. Entry was not with intent to intimidate."
Can you just go back and read that statement again, please?
All right. Quote, "It was a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom. Entry was not with intent to intimidate."
That is truly one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
That is... How to say a broom?
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. And trust me, I understand many sexual fantasies. This is one I do not get.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't understand. Maybe somebody knows something we don't in the comments or something.
You're asking for someone to inform us more about this? I don't think there's anything else to inform.
That was just one of those things where at first you read it and you're like, oh shit, and then you're like, okay, and then you're like, wait, and then you're like, oh wow, this is insane. It was like a roller coaster of emotions.
It definitely was that. I was all over the place with that story, but I'm glad it worked out in the end.
Man, yeah, it worked out in the end. You know, got the happy ending, I guess.
Wah, 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 wah.
Man.
All right, well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for listening or watching, or however you're enjoying this podcast. Crendor, hit them with those socials.
We've got socials. Yes, we do. We've got socials for you. Hey, listen to our podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. YouTube.com/Cox and Crendor podcast. All one word. If you go to youtube.cox and Crendor, you're going to find the animations, which are probably better than listening to the actual podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait for the animation of the guy who got stroked by a broom or whatever.
Oh, it's got to happen. And then, yeah, subscribe, hit the bell, do the things. I don't know, YouTube talk. Also, follow us on our things. YouTube.com/Crendor, YouTube.com/Jesse Cox, Twitch.tv/Crendor, Twitch.tv/Jesse Cox, Twitter.com/Crendor, Twitter.com/Jesse Cox, Facebook.com/Crendor, Facebook, Instagram.com/Crendor is taken, Instagram.com is Nora Talks. About it.
There we go. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next time, and as always,
Whoop.
to be continued.